Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Flickering Torch and our live stream of Knights Black Agents, also known as Knights Black Agents Blood Feud. I am, as always, Ben, also known as the Flickering Torch, and I am the director of today's session, which is kind of the game master. So we're just going to go around and reintroduce everyone, in case this is your first episode. If you do want to watch previous episodes, they're all on the Flickering Torch YouTube channel, which is linked down below in Twitch, or if you're already watching the VOD on YouTube, then you're already there. Okay, so we will start with, Sean today. Sean,
That's fine,
please
thanks.
introduce yourself.
Yeah, I'm Sean. I'm playing Mace Hunter. He's the chameleon of the group. I kind of man for all sort of trade and action. He's the guy that can get you into places. Not necessarily your frontline kind of surgical scalpel, as you put it, or grenade, who is above us here. Who are you? Grenade?
Right, James, yeah, please introduce your character.
I'm James. I'm playing Halbjorn. He's a wet worker of sorts. Perhaps more of a sledgehammer than a scalpel, but it gets the job done.
Certainly does.
Well,
And
not if you want to fly a plane, it doesn't. And finally,
below the
Jordan,
belt.
can you introduce your character, please?
Hello, everybody. My name's Jordan, and I'll be playing Leo McEnroe, who is basically the Sam Fisher-esque type spy in this little group. He's the infiltrator, the surveillance operative, follower, brawler, if you will. He's a jack of all trades, but not.
Excellent. So, for anyone who didn't see last week's stream, the players, I guess the agents, had just escaped Milan after a shooting that they were definitely a part of, and had got into Hungary to get to Budapest on a train that they got with a very dodgy contact of a contact, I think is fair to say, where they basically found a bunch of hospital people who were knocked out that they freed from the train. And as they sort of confronted the human trafficker about this, who's been smoking this weird drug, as they confronted him, gun up to the back of his head, he turned round, his eyes and veins glowing with this sort of golden angelic almost light, as he has this like crooked, horrific smile on his face. So I think the first thing to ask is, Halbjorn, what's your hit threshold? Because you already shot this round.
I didn't actually shoot him.
You shot next to him.
Near his head to make his ear go off.
So what is your hit threshold, just out of interest?
Remind me, that's. Am I looking for shooting on my sheet?
It should just say hit threshold on your sheet.
Yeah, it'll give you a number.
Threshold.
It's probably 4.
It's probably not been written in yet, so we'll go with 4.
We'll go with 4. Okay. So what happens is this thing turns around and its eyes glow at you with this sort of demonic golden angelic light. He takes a fist and he goes to put it through your head.
Can I use my MOS here?
You can after his go because you already had him dead to rights and made a move. So
Okay.
that's 5. So he's going to do some damage now with his fists. Weirdly, his fists, when it hits you, it doesn't feel like a human fist anymore. It's almost as if all of the blood has caused rigor mortis in his hand, and he's just smashing you with almost like a dead stump.
And that's
Take 1
appropriate for a
damage,
scalpel.
please, sir.
That is knock 1 off health.
That is knock 1 off health, sir. Yes.
Okay, and does that knock it off both lines?
Just knock it off one of the lines, I think.
Because I've got a general ability of health and I've got a table of health. As well.
No, their table of health.
Okay.
Excellent. So, yeah, he thuds into you in his hand. It doesn't feel like a human hand anymore. It feels almost like a piece of meat just slamming into you. You also notice that, his whole expressions have changed. It almost looks like a different person's face. As he smiles at you and, punches you as hard as he can. And then you take that 1 damage. Leo, I believe you're on the roof, right?
I am on the roof of the train car, yes.
Yeah, you don't actually see this. And almost with a supernatural vigor, he goes to hit you again.
As he goes to hit me again.
No, James, it's not your round in cooking.
Oh, I don't know how good. No.
I will let you know when it's your turn.
All right.
You're fighting a supernatural bad guy here. So
In
He-
quite a tight space.
gets 2 rounds in combat to your 1. Oh shit! Take 6 damage from that.
Oh god.
As another meaty rigor mortis hand slaps into you. Okay, Sean, I believe it's
Yep,
now
Mace.
your turn. So Mace, what is Mace doing?
Mace grabs from his bag. I mean, obviously we've been focused on freeing these prisoners, so I don't have it to hand. I wasn't expecting this, but I go to grab the gun out of my bag that we got from the people, if you remember, in the hangar.
Mhm.
I think it's a revolver, a small revolver.
That it was.
I try and loose off however many shots I can at this creature. I'm going for centre mass. There's no point trying to be too clever here.
Right, so he has a he has a hit threshold of 4, just like a regular enemy, because he's not actually looking at you, so he can't really do anything to try and get out of the way. He's sort of just stood in the train car, so there's no cover. Unless you want to walk right up to him.
Is it the higher you hit? Is it the higher you hit, the more damage you do?
No, you roll to hit, and then you roll a d6 damage.
Okay, well, I'll ask James to roll for me. I want to make sure of it. I'm going to put 3 points in of my shooting ability.
And this would count as a light firearm.
Yeah.
You wanted that under the bot testing, right?
Yes, please.
No, in show chat, please.
Yeah, got it.
If you would be so kind. I daren't touch anything for fear of putting the cameras and names out.
Was it how many points are you putting in?
I'm putting 3 in, so whatever I roll, it should be enough, hopefully, to hit it. Centre mass.
7.
Excellent, yeah. You managed to get that shot off. Can you give me another d6 roll, please, James?
Yeah, just straight into the centre of it. There's no point trying to be too clever, and noise is not the issue here. We got to, what the hell is this thing? It's like, oh my god, I've seen some strange things, but this is pretty weird. How many damage did we do?
Just roll us another d6, please, James.
Let's hope it's not paltry. We need a good. We need to see what this thing's made of. Don't give me the.
Square 6.
A square
That's great.
6. So what actually happens is it receives 5 damage. As one of these rounds sort of enters its skin, instead of like the blood and viscera you would expect to see, it's almost like it's hitting a corpse. Like, it's not like spraying out liquid or anything. It's almost like all of the blood has been rushed to different parts of the body and is now not like equally distributed.
Am I able to back off a little as well, get a bit of distance from the creature?
Do you want to stay in the train car and do that, or do you want?
I still want to stay in the train car because I want to help my friend. But
yeah, you can sort of back up against the opposite wall of the train car.
Yeah, I'm just
anything
trying
in
to
here
back
isn't
away.
that far away because it's just.
Yeah.
one-
Oh yeah, sure.
one
I mean, but
carriage
I just
of
want to
the
give
train.
myself a bit of space should it be required.
So you basically put a round into this thing. We see it enter its body, and it's almost like there's like nothing there when it hits. Like it goes through the body, but no like blood spray or anything, and it doesn't even really seem to
Is it
react
like
to it.
a crispy sound like you would break a chicken wing?
Almost, yeah. It's like like
No.
you do get the rip of the flesh, but you don't like see anything really else at that time.
Okay, great. This is even worse than I thought. This is terrible.
So now, Kjellborn, it's your turn to go.
In that case, I will use my MOS.
Okay, so I will let you just get 1 round off at him. He's a supernatural creature, so it won't kill him straight away, but you can just roll damage instead of having to roll to attack.
Okay.
And what are you shooting him with?
Pistol with a silencer.
Okay, so that'll just count as a +1 to your damage
Okay,
roll.
yeah,
Sorry, a
fine.
+0 to your damage roll. So
I can't remember if it had a silencer on. I don't remember. But,
I think yours
let's
did.
say it.
it definitely
say it
did
has.
last session, I think.
That's cool. I'll go with it. What you say.
Leo, you got a bit of trouble down here, sir.
Yeah. So what we see is, so where are you shooting him specifically?
Hope not. Jump stop go.
Probably as he goes to sort of go for the mid chest.
The mid chest, right? So you do actually see a little bit of viscera and blood like leave his body, and as you see it, it starts off as this like golden metallic color as it's exiting his body, but as it like hits the air, it almost like turns back into regular blood. But it's like a duller shade of blood than you're used to seeing from like a fresh corpse. It's almost like his all the nutrients and stuff are being sucked out of his blood as it's exiting.
Yeah.
They say get the train. It's better for the environment. I'm not sensing that.
It lets out this almost like inhuman wail when that like viscera leaves, and then it says, "Do you speak Russian?"
I do.
Un momente, por favor.
I do.
Yes, we do.
This thing that was the human trafficker says, bastard in Russian, essentially. But it's like perfect Russian with a perfect Russian accent. And the inflection on it kind of sounds slightly feminine.
Kalashnikov.
So, Leo, you've heard the last shot. It might have been a silenced pistol, but it was inside a train carriage, so you've definitely heard it. Is there anything you want to do now while you're on the roof?
Well, nothing I really can do. I just want to get down there, so I'm just going to roll off from where I am, land outside. There's no way I can get inside. I'm going to have to land outside by the door, which I assume is open.
Yeah, the door is still open, and
Cool.
and the thing that was this human trafficker
So
is
I
now
can
stood
look
in the
in
doorway. Yeah, you basically
I can
now
look in and
see.
what's going on. Can I do
Nice
it?
of you to drop in, I say.
You see now that like selective parts and of his veins are now like bulging out and glowing, but you notice that like in the lower half of his arm there isn't anything, and in like places where he's not actively moving, like you can't see the veins like going to the surface. So it's almost as if like once blood needs to go there, it goes there, and you can like visually see it. So you manage to jump off the train, you roll, and we land. I'm not going to give you another action because that was kind of your whole
That's fair.
3
As
seconds.
I've left all
that,
my
so to be fair, so-
notes, someone remind me what the name we had was. 'Cause I've left my notes at home, I think, or they're in the bag over there. Was it Dominic Harper, wasn't it?
Dominic Harper isn't this guy.
No,
No,
Dominic
but it's
Harper's
the name. That's
originally,
the important
yeah.
That's
thing. Dominic
the
Harper.
That's the contact name that he had, and also I think he found on another body earlier.
The guy in the hotel that went for a flying lesson said it and died.
Yeah.
And someone else said it.
Both the Bewitched guys have said it, and this
Yeah.
guy was apparently on the phone to someone from Club Ambrose, is what you remember.
Yeah. So
Yeah. It's
So
not
again,
really
this creature's going to try and
1830.
attack you.
I don't know.
is it going for
So
me again?
yeah, well, you're the only thing directly in front of it.
Yeah.
This is a problem. This might end me.
We're kind of backing off. I mean, I haven't seen anything like this.
That's not beating your 2. Sorry, that's not beating your 4. That has hit your 4. So you're going to take damage. Take another 6. The first thing like goes to hit you, but it seems to almost like falter, like there's not enough blood for what it wanted to do, and then it swings around with the other arm like quite viciously and slaps you on the side of the head. Take another 6.
Okay. So 6 from 2 is -4.
So -4 damage. You're not
That's my
dead.
fourth at the moment.
I hope you have the relevant pages open, Ben, because
I'm
Wow.
scrolling.
This
Scrolling.
doesn't sound good.
You're basically going to take like a -2 to everything, I think.
Excrement.
From now on, as you're basically like, dazed from the attack.
Yeah. Okay.
Jordan, can you get up the page for me so we know exactly what it is? I think it's 61, but I'm not sure.
I will get it up for you.
Anyway, yeah. So what we see is this thing hits you hard again, and you basically know you're in trouble. You would think on the dealing damage page it would tell you what happens there, but
Apparently not.
this book isn't laid out how it should be.
No.
Something
Right.
to write to Free League about and tell them.
Don't worry.
not
Just
freely,
run
this
it
is
how you
ridiculous.
feel.
Anyway,
Fine.
right,
guys,
so
we've-
you've
going.
taken this
Was this
beast.
one Free League?
Wait.
This is a Modiphius game, actually.
Oh, my bad.
Right, so yeah, you're
Sorry,
not dead.
wrong-
So
wrong
On...
I found a thing about health.
He's
Sorry,
found the
to interrupt,
thing.
Ben, I found a thing about health dropping below 0.
Yep.
Page 63 if you want to go health below 0.
63.
Yes.
Oh
I
yeah,
really
the one
want to
under
do that.
injury. We'll just ignore it for now. Just know that you're very injured. I thought on the sheet it said something, but I might be wrong. Anyway, yeah. So
Probably don't have the same sheet.
Are
as
you?
guys.
I can read. I've got this in front of me that I could read if you want, Ben.
yeah, go
I'll
ahead.
read this to you, what I found in the book. So it says, unlike most abilities, your health pool can drop below 0. When it does this, you must make a consciousness roll. Roll a die with the absolute value of your current health pool as your difficulty. So I'm guessing if it's -4, it would be a 4 difficulty.
4 difficulty. Give us a roll to stay
You may
conscious.
deliberately strain yourself. For each point you reduce it, add 1 to your die result. It's basically saying make a consciousness roll if your health pool gets below 0.
Yeah. So this thing's like knocked you back into the wall.
Okay.
You've heard like a metallic like clank as you've hit the back door. Can you make us a consciousness roll, please?
2.
Yeah, you clonk on the back of the door and get knocked like clean out. This creature doesn't even look that much injured at this point. So what we basically see is you've unloaded into it. It's not really felt anything in particular. And then it's just like clunked you back with one of these rigor mortis hands again. You fall back. We hear this clunk, and then we see you like slump down as your comrades look on. So that was the creature's turn. So now it's Sean again.
And this damage doesn't seem to be going through, does it? Is that what you're saying?
It's hurting it, but it's not hurting it as much as nearly as much as it should.
Can I use one of my cherries? It's a parkour maneuver to try and maneuver through the carriage, pick up one of the pairs of handcuffs that hasn't been used, attach the handcuff to the creature's hand and the door handle of the carriage, and carry on rolling out.
I'm gonna need like a 6 on that. Please.
I'm happy to do that. What I'll do is I will put in 5 of my athletic points to guarantee it.
5 of your athletic points. You're not going to need to roll for that. So
just to make sure.
Just note down that you've used those 5 points. You clunk it on, I guess, the hand.
Whichever the nearest hand is to the. Yeah, whichever is nearest to the door handle kind of thing. It's sort of snap, and I carry on rolling away.
Yeah, you basically like run past it, snap the handcuffs on the bar, and swing out.
Would it be okay to say that I nudge the handbrake off as I tumble out, so the vehicle starts to move a little?
So this is part of a whole train carriage, so you couldn't actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Well, it's attached to the train.
Yeah, it's now attached to the train. You see it basically like turn and look in its eyes, and it says something else in Russian. That you don't quite catch because it's talking almost like ridiculously fast. How fluent in Russian are you? Did you live there for a long time?
I am fluent in 3 key languages: English, Spanish, and Russian.
Okay, so it's basically cursing you, but it's like you can hear half of the Russian words, but the rest of them don't really make sense.
That's very typical for the Russian language.
Yeah, it's almost like
they're cursing you.
An old dialect. So it's not like modern Russian. It's kind of like...
I never thought I'd say this, but my father, I'm looking back at it as I say this. He was also potentially a comic. That's a sort of Russian thing there, isn't it? Look at it, damn thing.
So, Jordan, do you want to make an action?
Yes. So I guess I'm looking inside. I'm currently still outside looking at this.
Yeah. So you see Mace in front of you. He's like rolled directly in front of you.
Hi.
Is the creature handcuffed?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, to the carriage.
Cool.
That might help you.
So he's going to just go straight for Halbjorn.
Halbjorn, is knocked out.
Some first aid to him.
You'd have to go past the monster to be able to do that.
You might have to drag him back away from the...
He's in the carriage currently.
Oh, right, okay.
So you could try, but you'd have to basically
get past him without...
You would have to roll like agility.
Cattle car, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, I'm going to try. So I've got
2 doors
got
on each
athletics.
side?
I can try.
Right, so I'm going to need like an athletics roll. It's only going to be a 3 because this thing's like obviously not got the motor range it had. And this thing's almost being like puppeteered.
Cool. I'm going to put 3 points into it then.
God damn.
So I'll roll 1 and add 3, but it should be no problem.
Yep. Excellent.
4.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You managed to roll past it. As it goes for another swipe at you, you get out of its way, and Hjalborn was not just far enough that you can like get it without the monster able to grab you easily.
Lovely. So, what's your hit point value, Halbjorn?
Currently -4.
Cool. So, for every 1 point I can spend in medic, this is how first aid works, I can refresh 2 of your points. So I can spend 3 and put you on 2 health and get you up again.
Oh, okay.
So how are you actually healing him? Like, have you got smelling salts, or are you... Because he's just unconscious at the minute. He's not...
Slapping him across the face.
Nice.
As you've always wanted to do.
I'm waking him up exactly how people do in the centre. And this is how Glaswegians wake each other up on a night out. Fuck up, you bastard!
Yeah, your eyes sort of groggily open as you thought your friend is just slapping you, like full backhand slap. to wake you up.
I'll catch like the third one.
Works every time. Leo just stands up and just goes, works every time.
We still see the monster in the background trying to like grab for you, and I think that's everyone's gone now. So what we see is literally all of the veins in that arm now in the handcuffed arm now recede up into sort of the neck area, and to like the shoulder and the neck area. We can see it glow through this guy's clothes, like it's glowing so bright, it's glowing through his clothes. And we see it yank like physically as hard as it can. The wrist area where the hand is attached at the handcuff, that's what breaks, not the handcuff. And we see it's a severed hand on one side, and it's free wrist on the other.
Excellent.
It looks over at all of you very quickly.
Lovely.
And in Russian says, "I'll be back for you," in this female voice.
Is my gun nearby and can I shoot it as it runs away?
You can try and shoot it while it runs away, but what you do see is it flips out round the side of the carriage, so it's like hugging the wall, and like we see it as this like inhumanly janky movement of it like digging it in. So you can all make one thing before it escapes.
I would have loved to have had a grenade, attached it to the hand and thrown it off.
I have
hand
C4.
grenade.
I have C4, but it needs to be taken out of the bag, put a detonator on it and thrown.
Right, yeah. So as this thing's like jankily like running down the rest of the train, you could probably get another shot off at it if you would like.
For sure. Oops, that's the wrong window.
I've never seen anything like that. I've no idea what the hell that is. That's like some jacked up God knows.
I'm going to spend some points.
You can spend some points.
I'm going to spend 6 points to make it hit.
You're going to try and maim it or something, or shoot its leg out?
9. Yeah, let's go for like a knee so that it blows a knee out.
Right, so a knee modifies the hit threshold by a certain amount.
Fine shot though.
Let's hope it hits with a 9.
Yeah.
So a limb is +2, and it's basically moving at inhuman speed. So I'm going. Do you want to roll?
Yeah, I've rolled a 9.
Oh, a 9. Yeah, you managed to like plug one more shot off at it. Can you give me a damage roll?
I can't add anything to the damage roll with points, can I?
No.
No, that's fine. 3.
Not bad.
Yeah, you see it like dig into the leg, and we see another spurt of this like golden fluid like fling out of its leg that then like dries into this like decrepit like rotten blood. But this thing is like so inhuman that it doesn't even like flinch when that happens. Like you could possibly hear some cackling, like in Russian. But this thing's like basically like running at inhuman speed sideways along the train. Off into the night. Thankfully, you freed all its prisoners. But yeah, and you've got its hand. But
yeah, that's handy.
Yay, more body parts.
So yeah,
Lovely.
Can everyone take
the pieces from an entire human at this point?
Can everyone take 2 points of stability damage for me, please? Unless you've got some cherry about being hardened, because you've never seen such a horrific sight as this thing's like whole vascular system turned gold and its eyes glowed and it attacked you.
I spend a few moments.
I mean, I've been on nights out in Glasgow, and even I've not seen anything as fucked up as that.
I spend a few moments like staring down at the creature's gone into the darkness, but the hand lying on the floor, and I just think back to the wreckage I remember in the pub.
So what you're seeing when you look at that hand is like almost like it's been deceased and drained of all of its blood. Like that is basically like the husk of a hand. It's not even leaking blood from where it like tore itself off.
Yeah, I just think back to that moment and then compose myself and climb into the carriage and see how Maud is doing.
Have you got a symbol for that moment? Because I think you get stability points back, right?
Yeah, it's the picture that he carries around in his inside pocket of the I just call it the woman and the 3 children. I don't mention her name at this point.
Okay. Right. So yeah, we see this sort of.
Card.
You've got the card. Are you getting that out and doing anything with it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it looks similar to the colouring is similar to what I've just experienced. So
Okay,
But
so
I've
the
no
guy's
idea what
actually
that-
left his jacket there, or what was the man left its jacket there. If you want to search that, he's
we
obviously
will.
left the
Just
hand.
check how Halvard is doing. Is he up? Is he down? How is
He was probably leaning out of the side of the carriage, popping this thing in the back of the knee. So
right? Okay, so,
So
he's
are you
okay.
still like laying on the floor after shooting it, right?
yeah, I'd say we did that on the floor. Like, roll across the floor, sort of crawl across the floor quickly to lean out to try and shoot.
There's been many rumours about what the Russians have been up to for the last sort of 30 years or so, but I've never seen anything like that. What the hell was that? God damn.
It is a good question. I
not something I think we want to mess with.
bloody hurt. I'll tell you that much.
It sounded like you were being punched with
You
iron.
okay?
No, not quite. Hit the back of the head on the metal over there, and I fell into the
Hjalbjorn,
slide.
you get a really
Yeah.
quick echo in the back of your mind. We sort of see this as soon as Mace asks you what the hell that is, we get like an echo, like we get to see through your eyes in this sort of sepia tone style flashback of a guy in obviously like military garb saying "Hunt the Renfield," but then it like quickly fades, and we get like a very obviously confused look on your face, but that's like what the camera sees.
And from the camera seeing it, does the garb give away country or era, or is
Well-
it too indistinct?
It's so hazy that you yourself don't really know.
I don't think we can really hang around too long, but yeah, let's quickly search the let's search that driver's. Let's check his jacket out, see what he's got.
So what you find in there is
Hood
a
up because we let the gun shut off, and let's get
yeah that's
ready.
yeah you put your hood up. You're sort of searching his pockets. His burner phone was on him, so you don't get that. But you do find a single, almost like the size of a tarot card. It's a playing card. The black is like this matte black finish, and on the face of it, it's the two of sides, which is like a yellow suit that you've not really seen before, but it's obviously sides. And that's just basically the only thing on his pocket.
We'll take that. That might get us entry into something later. So we might
Didn't
need.
we find one of those somewhere else, or is that just my mind making?
I don't recall. I say I don't
Does it
recall
match
that.
the one that I
Yes,
carry?
Jordan, that does match the exact. It's almost like it was printed in the same factory or by the same person, but it's a different card. So you, I believe, have got the king, the yellow king of scepters, right?
I believe I have the king.
Yes.
And this is the same suit.
Same suit, but it's a 2, not a king.
Right.
Oh,
Can I hang on? I look at Mason and I say, "Can I hang on to this?"
yeah. Take it.
Thank you.
What do you think? What did you think it
Put
is?
With mine. I don't know, but it's related to this, and I just tap my pocket. I've just put them both in.
Sure.
So we get a flashback to you
no
like
idea.
busting down the door of that gambling den. There's like discarded chips everywhere. There's a window like broken and open on the far side of the building. And of you like looking around and picking up your card, looking at it, and then obviously we see a flash forward back to where we are now. Of you putting the two cards together, and then like I guess you put them in your wallet or something, right?
Yeah, just in a pocket that I carry.
Yeah. So just for the audience.
Pocket
Leo's found these before, like in his backstory. Leo's seen this before. So, I believe you are heading to Budapest. You're in Hungary, and you're not that far away. You're about an hour's journey into Budapest.
Yeah, this should be easier. Let's get
or we
away.
should pick up some lunch then if we're hungry.
Let's get away from this railway station and try and get some transport into Budapest.
So, are you going to steal a car or hail a
I think we
taxi?
need to
Or...
get.
I think we probably want
I
to
see.
Find a hospital.
take a car.
We need to hold up. We need to hold up somewhere.
Yeah, let's take a
Somewhere
car.
overnight so we can recover.
Let's
Yeah,
take
I'm
a car.
sure I read I need to hold up for a couple of days at least in the health section. But I
Yeah,
could be
let's
wrong.
take a car. Find a
You,
place on the outskirts
only-
of Budapest.
Do anyone have a
Think
contact in Budapest that they could stay with, or?
Yeah, I would use a network here. I have a contact called Ensario Lavenzia, and he is running a very rundown hotel on the outskirts of Budapest. I haven't been here for a few years. He owes me some money, and I haven't collected it to the point.
So you used to know the hotel as the Hotel Le Rouge.
Yep.
It's been rebranded to just Red when you go there. Obviously someone has charged him a lot for this sign, but he hasn't bothered to renovate the rest of the hotel. He's kind of just jazzed up the sign and hoped that it will get rid of the poor reputation of the Hotel Le Rouge. Which before that was Hungarian for Red. So he basically just rebrands this every 5 years to try and get people to stay there because his Yelp reviews are always so bad.
I'd mostly put them on for you.
You go in, and there used to be this little cafe at the front, but it's very obviously not been used in months or maybe even years, and it's got these really outdated 1950s style tablecloths on it. The checking desk, there's no one there. But when you stroll up and ding the little bell, that sounds even the bell sounds super cheap.
Yes.
And Sario comes out. He's this sort of fat, slightly balding man. And he goes, "Wait, what cover story does he know you as?"
Playboy kind of thing, where I've come into Budapest just looking for action. He knows that. He owes me 500 previously as gambling debt I paid off for him, or somebody maybe associated with his family.
Does he know you as a mace or as something else?
It's still Hunter, but this time it's Josh Hunter.
Mr. Hunter, oh, it's so good to see you.
5 years, Isario. How good to see you, my friend.
You can see the hotel has had a
It
redesign.
certainly has. I think you've done very well redecorating with my money.
Consider it an investment. You can have half of this month's
That's
right
okay.
now.
Don't worry, Asario. Don't worry. Honestly, you can do me a favour. My friends, the usual story, Asario. I'm only travelling through, so don't worry. I'll leave you the usual tip. Just need a quiet room where we can hole up, no questions asked. You know what I mean? A few of my friends have come with me this time.
He sort of looks quite nervous, and he's like, most of our rooms are booked, but you can see he's got one of those key displays of all the keys in the hotel.
Asario,
see,
I'm looking at your
nothing
hotel. Not all your rooms are booked. Let's be honest. Come on. Look,
maybe
Asario.
you know what? For you, because of our current arrangement, I'll maybe I can give you the Queen Suite. If you could knock a couple grand off that debt.
Yeah, sure. That's no problem, Asario. Listen,
Excellent,
I'm gonna need one further favour from you though. One of my friends, unfortunately, you know what Budapest is like. Yeah, I mean, it's sometimes, let's be honest, it's not the greatest place to come to. My friend didn't know the area as well as me, strayed away from our group, and unfortunately, a couple of local youths have beaten him up. Any chance you can provide a doctor for him? Help him out?
A doctor? Oh, God. I think my sister's niece's husband might be a doctor. I'll give him a ring. Is it bad? Is it...
He'll be okay. Just needs a little bit of attention. Bruising, mostly.
You see me being sort of half supported by Leon. It is Leon, isn't it?
That's Leo.
Leo, thanks. You see me being half supported by Leo, sort of looking...
Yeah, this is him now, I say, as he gets escorted. He's been one of your... one of the Budapest youths, probably local youths, maybe gang-related, who knows. They see one of us tourists coming into town. It's the old story, isn't it? Remember the last time I was here? I tell you what, it was lucky I could handle myself, or those guys would have got away with that money. It would have been a bit more serious. But anyway, let's leave it there. You've done your part, Zara. Really appreciate it. Get that doctor involved. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll knock $4,000 off the debt. How's that? We'll call it quits this time round.
Yes, that's fine. Just please go up, and he gestures to the elevator that has a big out of order sign on it, and then he's like, please take the stairs. It's only the top floor. It's fine.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. Thanks, Satara. It's great to be here. The place really You've done well with it. It's come on, a great deal. I tell
As
you
you
what,
say that,
looking
like a
round,
piece of plaster falls from one of the ceiling tiles.
You know, the last time the whole floor would have gone, but this time, if only a plaster's going, you've improved it. I'd say, Asaro, this is excellent.
Your generous investment, yes.
Indeed, it's gone far. I think with my investment, this hotel really has come on. Good job. I won't be back for another 5 years. But thank you, Asario. We may need further assistance, but as always, I'll keep knocking off the debt till we're all clear of it. Is that okay?
I've had the honour to be your obedient servant.
Oh, it's very kind of you, sorry. I mean, after all, you wouldn't want me to tell Avanzia about the debt, would you?
Avanzia? No,
Yeah,
she
wouldn't
doesn't.
want to hear.
What she doesn't know that won't hurt her.
Exactly. I mean, we've always been good friends that way, haven't we? And
Yes.
remember the usual story here, Rosario. If anything happens to me while I'm in Budapest, you know, I'm sorry to tell you, but, you know, she may find out. So make sure, you know, keep your ear on the ground and make sure that I'm being looked after.
I will do whatever I can for you to not tell my wife about those
That's it.
four other
Yeah.
women.
Little accidents, little indiscretions.
Yeah, yes.
4 little indiscretions. And 2 minor children indiscretions. Let's not worry about those.
The kids are doing well. They're both called Mace. Even the girl.
Oh my God. Oh, Isario, you. What can I say? What a place. What a place. Budapest, it never
Leo
changes.
starts dragging Halbjorn up the stairs at this point.
Let's go.
So you go up this really
Yeah,
dingy...
we'll head up the stairs. It's probably completely awful as you move away up the hotel. It's probably terrible, the back stairs.
Yeah, you're going up these stairs, and like half of the stairs have got carpeting on, and half of the carpeting's like just been ripped off the stairs. There's like
We
some
always do it in
doors.
style in Budapest, lads.
there's like some doors that are just like stacked in hallways, and some of the rooms are missing doors. When you get up to the Queen's suite, you open it up, and it's all wrapped
Dreaded.
in like plastic wrap.
I'm gonna search the room because I know what Osario's like. This is a really dodgy hotel, so let's see if there's any hidden cameras. You know, it's the usual story.
So you put a towel over the mirror that you know is a two-way mirror. And just searching through the doors, you find like a couple rounds of ammunition, like a couple different bags of drugs, and you also find a bag of this sort of crystalline chemical that's like bright red,
God.
that you know as mask.
Yeah,
Not
it's
that
everywhere.
shit again.
It's
That's,
everywhere. Anyway, but this is a safer place.
Are the other drugs?
Sorry, go on, Jordan.
No, I was going to say, are the other bags they regular drugs, or are they all?
Yeah,
just masks?
pretty much everything else is regular. Like there's like
they're
a lot.
the fun
It's
time.
obviously all been used, so it's like half bags of stuff. But it's like it's in such small amounts that you imagine this room just never gets cleaned, and it's whoever was staying there with a party of a few people has just sort of whacked it in the drawers and forgotten about it.
This very classy establishment we're staying in.
Well, it's let's be honest, we're on the edge of Budapest.
Well, that's what you've got for now, and I drop you on the floor.
It's one of the safest places, really, to be honest. Beyond that, Albion, no one will come here. So, you know,
You're on the
low
Buddha
lives
side
of
of the Danube at the minute. So yeah, this is like the most rundown hotel you've ever seen in Budapest. Budapest is usually like, at least the touristy bits are quite plush. But this is very clearly like whoever owned this before Ensario obviously just didn't take care of it for years, and then Ensario kind of maybe won this in a game of cards and has continued to
that's
not.
actually perfect because that is the backstory. I originally owned this hotel.
Oh, Mace owned this hotel.
Yeah, originally, and then ended up losing it to Asario, and Asario's ended up running it, and then eventually I won a bet against him. So this is the kind of backstory I feel is right for Asario. A relationship, every few years we run into each other, and it's normally not a good thing, as is right now. It's not ideal.
It's not a good
Here we
thing
are.
for either of you or the citizens of Budapest when you meet
Never
up.
a good thing.
He's not
Here
even
we
a
are, once
Budapest
again.
national. He won plane tickets into Budapest one year, and he lost his return ticket in a gambling situation.
I will explain to both Leo and Albion the sort of inside joke that Isario has about the hotel, which is simply that obviously the Queen Suite is different, but if you go to any of the other rooms, he will always say there's a sea view. And the reason there is a sea view is as you look out the windows, he's put a letter C on an area nearby. That is Asario's kind
Oh,
of.
mate.
This is kind of way of dealing with problems.
That's just hilarious.
But if you
That's
look
it.
out, one of the windows in the Queen's
least-
suite is basically just like, obviously like a painting of the seaside that he's like tried to fit in between the glazing of the window. Like this place is run down to all hell. But you imagine no one else is going to stay there, so it's actually a pretty good safe house.
Yeah, thanks. There you go, boys.
No,
Sorry, it's not
good choice.
ideal, but it's it'll do.
That's
for
all right,
tonight.
mate. That's all right.
Currently, like the Ritz, it's fine.
If you guys are resting up here, I have an errand to run.
Certainly,
In the
yeah. You
meantime.
go ahead.
It's a quick.
I thought that was a rat running through the hotel there.
I'll be back in a couple of hours.
Yeah, so
You have a special guest.
right, so we'll deal with your errand in a second, but as you're leaving, you pass a guy who's in this kind of like really cheap corduroy suit, and he walks into the Queen's suite, and he just says, "Dentist? You wanted an in-house dentist?"
Yeah, that's pretty close. My friend is pretty beaten up, actually. Do what you can.
Look, I owe Ensario a couple hundred.
Yeah.
Just lie down there, and he
I'll
gets
help.
out a little flask and he takes a glug of his flask and he's like looking over your head and he's like, minor concussion, take. And he just looks around the room, and he opens a drawer and he pulls out a little bag of pills. 4 of those, you'll be fine.
I'll relieve him of his flask as he comes near and have a swig myself to take the pills with.
It's like the cheapest. It's a beer in a flask. Like this guy doesn't even have money for liquor. Like it's like very clearly like a rundown. Like he's Ensario's niece's cousin's like
Dentist.
husband, who is a dentist, but Ensario thinks is a doctor. Like
It's about right.
Okay.
Hey,
Okay.
this is the best that money can buy, Albion. I'm pleased for you. At least your bridge work will be better moving forward.
so yeah, he hands you that little bag. You take 4 pills out and suck on them, and then he
Jeez.
also takes 4, and then like
God.
open the drawer and throws them
Love
in.
this guy.
Closes
Thank you,
it.
Doctor. Stern work.
You guys in Budapest to party?
We might be. The way you're popping pills. You never know.
When you've got a
Yeah,
wife
we-
like mine, you learn to self-medicate.
Hey,
And then you
I
hear his
understand.
like phone buzz in his pocket, and he goes, "Speak of the devil," and he like walks out. He's just talking on his cell phone, and he walks down the stairs.
Nice.
Nice, Doctor.
Right. So Jordan, your errand. What are we doing?
So I'm gonna go and take the little bag of red crystals that we found,
Mhm.
because I have somebody in this part of the world who I want to look at this. I think that it's his line of work, his area of expertise, and I want to know what he thinks of it. And I also
Is this the
come
person
pretty
I'm
poorly
thinking
equipped.
of on your?
It is the person you're thinking of, yes.
Excellent. So what we see is
So,
Leo
what time-
walks into like a fast food joint. That's just like a kebab shop. Orders. What do you order? You need a drink and a meal.
I just order a number 6.
Yeah, you order a number 6, and they hand you a number 6, and I guess you flash some kind of recognition symbol, and they give you 2 cups. You put the drug underneath the lid of one, close it, walk straight to the bin, throw it in the bin, and what we see is a guy behind the counter nod. Someone else comes and empties the bin, and you know you've done the drop off to your contact. Your contact will get back to you, but because they're so security conscious, they're not going to get back to you straight away. You've basically...
Yeah, this is what I expect. This is how we normally do business anyway. This is we don't contact each other directly. It's dead drops. It's a usual time and place meeting sort of thing that we go and we set up a drop, and then I go to the meeting place at the time, and he knows to be there as well.
Yeah, it's weird. Every time you have to go to a different location, and he's giving you a list of locations that you cross off. Every time you make a drop, you can never go to that location again. So you're never going to return to this fast food place.
I obviously remember that every time we go one, we pre-arrange the next location, if you will, for the next time.
Yeah, basically every time you meet with this contact, he tells you where the next location is. And weirdly enough, someone buys that location and starts a kebab shop there. It's almost like a chain of kebab shops now of just your dead drops. So you walk back out. We see as the audience like the sort of journey of this bag like going out of the cup, and then like someone stuffs it in between some notes that then get transferred to another location. We see someone counting all the notes, stopping when they find the bag and the note, waving at people that are in this warehouse. That gets taken and it gets put on this really nice sort of mahogany desk where someone's hand like picks it up, reads it, and we just hear, "Oh, for fuck's sake!" And then it smash cuts back to you leaving with your with your drink from the kebab shop. Cool. Right. So
at this point, I head back to the motel, I guess.
Yep. You head back to the Hotel Red, as dilapidated as you left it. Nothing's fallen off yet. I look up at the sign for the first time and just go, yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, so the sign is actually like pristine and new. It's like the only thing that's ever been changed about the hotel because he needs to change it to get better Yelp reviews. So the sign is like this super shiny new sign that's like super ultra modern, and you go in and there's like a cockroach that runs across the floor. Enzorio's back there with like a beer, like with his feet up on the reception, and he like salutes you as you like walk past and go up the stairs. Right, back in the hotel room. Back in the hotel room. What are we planning on doing?
Just making sure that Albion is comfortable, and I'm just sort of I saunter over to the windows of the hotel room and just sort of look down onto the street. I probably previously saw Leo going away from the hotel, and I'm waiting there till he returns, kind of thing.
Yeah, you're kind of in the middle of the industrial areas of Budapest. You're not really sort of in the city centre, because obviously if it was in the city centre, people would come here.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And so it's really just wait now. I think we have to wait till morning. I mean, we can discuss what we're going to do next, and we'll just wait for Leo, and then we'll go through the options that we have, what we think we need to do.
So you've got those heavily redacted coroner's reports with the images, just as a quick recap. They all say heart failure, and they're all signed off by Dr. Frank Corvid.
That's who we need to see.
There's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 5 coroner's reports, but
Does
they're
it
all really
say
scant.
which coroner's office he works from?
The main Budapest. He's supposed to be like the head coroner for Budapest.
Right.
I will probably fall asleep at this point because
once you take those drugs, it's not hard.
Been a bit of a hard day.
Yeah.
So
can we do a quick kind of basic internet search on this chap, on where he potentially might work from? Maybe he's written several key papers, that kind of stuff. Is there a location for him?
So yeah, he went to the main university in Budapest to do his medical studies. He worked as Budapest coroner for the last sort of 6 years before he announced he was stepping down. And you see some like rumors online on some chat boards that he was kind of forced out. There was some chat about a letter he wrote, but that was sealed, and no one sort of knows what was in it. But yeah, he's basically been out of work, and he's now got like a little practice directly in the heart of Budapest, not that far away from the big castle in Budapest.
By coincidence, he happens to have done the coroner's reports for every single one of these bodies.
Yeah, so while he was the main coroner, he did the coroner's reports for every single one of these bodies.
Okay.
But now he's retired as the coroner for Budapest and has just got this like little practice.
Right, okay. Well, we'll wait for Leo, and then we'll go from there.
Excellent, yeah. Leo arrives at the hotel.
I guess we could approach this.
Sorry, Leo.
Karen.
Go ahead. No, I was just saying you arrive and...
No, I was going to say, I mean, if this guy owns his own private practice, I guess we could approach on the premise of needing painkillers, and I gesture at Halbion.
He's just asleep.
I don't think that's too much of a thing. We could just walk in.
I don't think it'd be too difficult, but yeah, when he's ready, let's wait for Albion. Hopefully in the morning we can head straight off over there.
Yeah, so while spending the night in this hotel, are you setting any sort of safety precautions, or are you just...
Just so you know, there's a bag full of explosives and guns next to you.
The reality is we've got to keep it simple. There is a chance that we might have been seen, and there's a chance Albion's picture might have been circulated. So there is a chance. And maybe even our pictures have been circulated now. We'll just keep it very simple. Door, if it opens inwards, we'll put a chair up against it from the inside. It's probably too high up for anything obvious, but we'll close the curtains and only kind of peek out using the edges and low down, so it's not obvious, from this point on, once Leo's back with us. And we'll just try and keep a very low profile. Food, we'll order in, and I'll always make sure Insario's bringing it up to me, because I know how to speak to him, and if I think he's off, then there's something probably wrong.
Yeah, so he basically brings you like McDonald's for your dinner.
Yeah, that's fine.
He's not kind of trying spending any money he doesn't have to.
Yeah, that's absolutely correct. Yeah.
So you've got a couple Big Mac meals and you're all good. What does happen is we see a shot of Halbjorn sort of snoozing away, and what we see sort of in his dreams are like lightning flashes of gold lightning, like on a black field, that keep flashing down, and as they flash down they look more like veins than lightning flashes, until we basically see like the outline of a woman standing there, and she's an outline apart from her eyes that are glowing the same sort of gold and yellow, and we see like that flash a couple times, and then Halbjorn wakes up in the morning in like a cold sweat.
This is where you could be ultra cruel to Albion, isn't it? You could, roll out of bed next to him in a cold sweat of her own. But Albion, you're all right.
You're right there, mate.
How you doing? You said some pretty odd things.
Those pills, they were fairly strong.
Yeah, I've only got one question for you, Albion. Why were you keeping a tape measure next to you all night long? I'm just kind of curious. That was all. Just wondered. Just thought.
On the note of him saying strange things, you did hear him say Azanka a couple times.
I think he was actually referring to me, and it had a different word beginning with a silent W. But you're all right. We need to get on. We've had a chat overnight while you were sleeping, and we kind of discussed about this coroner. I think we need to go and pay him a visit.
Yeah, okay. We the coroner on the reports, right?
Yeah, he's not too far away.
Oh, excellent.
We need to go and check out his practice. I reckon we could get into his practice easily enough.
Well, for sure.
I think that's a good idea. I think we need to go down there, have a little lay of the land.
I mean, do you want to take that with you? And I gesture at the massive bag of guns and explosives.
Probably not all of it, but some of it. And I'll finish.
Try and make this, like this time when we go somewhere and we meet some new people, try to leave them alive, yeah?
I deliberately pull out a block of explosives and a silencer and put it on the in front of you, just to wind you up.
Okay.
Yeah. You've got to admire his subtlety. He's getting better.
There, and I hand it to you when it's wedged in the block of explosives and say,
"Is this where I put?"
Now it goes off bang quieter.
Is this where I put the earmuffs on and you hand me the explosive so you detonate and you won't feel so bad because you don't hear it? Yeah.
Exactly.
Great logic. Love that. Thank you, Albion. That's superb.
I came to Budapest. I decided to meet you guys up my own back. I don't even know why anymore.
Yeah, sorry.
Why do I keep agreeing to these meetings that we set up?
So
it always seems to end the same.
I was quite happy in retirement myself, to be honest with you, Lee. I had no intentions of coming out of retirement, I can tell you.
So when you open the door, you like move the chair out of the way and open the door. There is a Metro, probably a Spar, like shopping basket, and in it are like new boxed prepaid for phones, as well as like breakfast food. Like it's almost like he's put the breakfast food on top to kind of like hide that he's brought you phones.
In a Metro basket, yeah.
So, we hand out.
Is there how many each? Just one
two
each?
Just one burner phone each.
Right, fine.
Cool. So how does my health look this morning?
You're pretty much fine.
So
we'll just say,
I think you recover. You do recover all your health pool.
Oh God! Look, I just found something running through the hotel.
Oh no, a stray cat. Yeah, it's full of them.
There's probably loads of them for the rats.
Can you
and
just
we'll
hold
let
that
those
up to the camera so we can get some more internet points, please?
Yeah, good idea. Look, if you're into
Yes.
cats, take a
Oh, everyone, look at that.
That's got to be worth a like and
Make the
subscribe
cat
to
roll.
the Flickering Torch. If you're a cat lover, we love cats.
Yes.
I don't chuck it away. I calmly place it down. Just disappears
There
out
we
of
go.
sight.
So
There
I
you
think narratively we'll say that you're just up to full health, because I don't think in a spy thriller we're really going to deal with a concussion for very long. Like if you got shot in the arm, we would obviously deal with it because it's interesting. But concussion, you're mostly fine.
Yeah,
apart from maybe some psychological effects.
Have had drugs, it's fine, right?
Yeah, you're so buzzed you don't even notice.
Concussion works.
You're not the happiness officer, are you?
So yeah, you all got a burner phone again. So I mean, note that down. Yeah, so you're going to Dr. Frank Corvid's office. So what you find is like this quite nice, almost Victorian era, but not the same architecture. Obviously, Budapest architecture. Sort of very tall, thin building in like a series of like buildings. So it's basically like a terrace, with obviously quite a new, almost like chalk sign outside that says Dr. Frank Corvid on it. So he's obviously just set up this practice very recently.
Is it obvious that he's there if we drive close by, but don't obviously?
I mean, it's open, so you would assume so. Like he's got a receptionist, but you can't see into the actual doctor's office because that would be weird if you were a patient and people could just.
Sure, okay, but it's open and okay, fine.
Yeah, it's open and there's like one person in the waiting room, but it doesn't seem particularly busy.
Okay, we've got a few options. It depends on how you want to approach it. Go ahead, Leo.
Here's what I'm thinking. You two could go in there. You could pose as patients, and I could go and just check out the surroundings.
Has anyone got
We
Streetwise?
wouldn't want something to happen outside. I have one in Streetwise.
I think I do. Also,
we all
maybe
do.
have one. Yeah, I think we get some
I've
Streetwise.
got something in Streetwise as well.
Okay, so
As a rule, everybody
this
gets
isn't
one
a
in
point
Streetwise.
spend. You just get this. You've noticed a lot of activity, sort of graffiti-wise, in Budapest, and a lot of it is, it seems to be gang tags for a gang called the Yellow Jacks. But they seem to be like everywhere around the city. And the last time you were in Budapest, you saw nothing like this. Like it's literally everywhere. And you notice weirdly, it's mostly on churches.
Okay.
I'll just drop that in for you there as you've sort of walked to Corvid's office.
Well, let's just consider our options. So, is there a particular reason you want us to kind of go in there? Remember, he's a coroner, isn't he, by trade? Is that what he originally did?
That is what he originally
He's
did.
originally a coroner.
Yeah.
Right.
My only thought is, if we're going to go in there to confront him, essentially
I
that's
think-
what we're doing.
Are we
It's gonna
looking
become
to-
a confrontation?
Are we looking to confront him, or is the plan to go and search those offices, or both?
Well, I have some fairly
do
hot
both.
surveillance, so I could do regular surveillance on the place.
The fastest method I can think of, just off the top of my head, would be this. Tell me if it's crazy. That's fine. That's what Mace does. I've got IDs. That's my thing. I could pull out a Budapest police ID detective badge. I could go in, say that we need a coroner. We've got a body that's been found a few miles outside of Budapest. We need his skills to give us some basic, how long's the body been dead, some basic thoughts around it. And because he's then out of the city, you can do whatever you like with him. And his offices are there pretty easy. We can, the woman can have the rest of the afternoon off kind of thing. It's not difficult. That's pretty simple.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Then we could come back to an empty office and search it later.
Yeah, I mean, it's up to you what you want to do with him. I mean, my skill is to get him out of there to an isolated location. The rest is up to you. How does that sound?
No, I'm down with that. Yeah.
Perfect.
Let's go with
That
that.
seems very reasonable. I think I should probably not go in because.
God, I'm loving that.
Yeah.
They liked it straight away. That's good. That's cool.
I've cut half my hair length off, but I still need to cut the rest off later today, and I think I still might be a little bit recognizable.
I could do it for you if you like.
No, thank you. I could do it myself.
Right, so
think
you're
he
just
not
walking
trust me?
through. Are you gonna get? How are you going to get the police uniforms? Have you got prepared?
No, the way I'm going to deal with it is I'm going to be a detective, so I wouldn't need a traditional police
Plain
uniform.
clothes.
I'm going to have. I think I'm going to be working for Interpol because it's going to look very important. So that will give me a reason to be a different accent. So I'll do that, and I can have my assistant, who has a very interesting accent, with me, Alborn, which would be good. Leo could just be observing.
I'm not sure I should go in.
No, that's fine.
Might be recognised.
Yeah, that's fine. You can just wait in the car then.
I'll come
Thought
with
we
you.
walked.
Yeah, come with. So I'm going to get into the car
Yeah.
as quickly as possible. I'm going to keep this very simple. I'm going to walk in with Leo.
Okay.
We're going to see the receptionist. I'm going to have the badge out.
Do you speak Hungarian?
No, but the burner phone, I would probably put an app on it. Probably, I think you could, couldn't you? It is 2015.
I was thinking they were more like Nokias, but if you wanted him to get you smartphones, he's got you cheap smartphones.
Yeah,
But do
okay,
remember
fine.
they'll have GPS on them.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. We'll have
I'll
to.
take the Nokia. Thanks.
Yeah, okay. I'll take the risk with it because I need to be able to translate, and we don't. It's a better cover story if we don't have the luxury of time. That also seems right. So I kind of mollycoddled through some key phrases with the phone helping me, explaining that I'm actually from Interpol. The name's Jacob Hunter. We have a murder investigation on the edge of town, looking to gain the services of the respectable and well-renowned Frank. Is it Corby?
Corvid.
Corbett, right.
She looks
Well,
kind of
Frank-
confused when you're saying you're from Interpol and you want Frank. And she just says 1 minute and she picks up the phone. And then she's like talking for a minute. You can't really you can pick out bits and pieces like phrasebook words, but you can't
that's fine.
understand the whole conversation.
No problem.
She puts the phone down, and you just see like someone leave the back of the doctor's office, like almost as if they were just like pushed out, like a lady leaves, and she looks like quite annoyed. And then the door is like left open basically for you to go in.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm not worried about the doctor's business. That's his business. It looks like we're here for a reason.
It's like a patient that was just like pushed out essentially. Like
that's
he
perfectly
wants to
fine.
talk to you.
He's got a lot going on, this doctor. I fully understand. I go in. I pigeon phrase it that we need his assistance. I've been told he's very good.
I speak English. Don't worry.
It's marvelous. I said perfect.
So what? You forced me out, and now you want my help?
Hey, look, this is very important, Doctor.
This is fucking ridiculous. I've had enough of being bullied by you scoundrels.
Doctor, all I'm going to tell you is very simply this. Listen, if you can help Interpol, because this is a very important murder investigation, I believe we're dealing with a serial killer, there is a bit of a finder's fee on this one. I think.
So you want me to take another bribe then?
No, Doctor, please.
Oh, I thought me taking a bribe was a problem the first time. That's why I'm out here and not the coroner, remember?
I don't know what your history is. I'm not interested in that. All I'm interested in is your help. I just need a couple of very basic details about how long this person's been dead, your impression of what you think may have happened. That's all. Nothing more at this stage, Doctor. I don't even need you to carry out the autopsy. Honestly, at this stage, we've got most of the unit is there. I just need some assistance, somebody I can respect. The guy that they sent us, frankly, I don't think could tell me that it was actually a corpse. I need someone with a bit of skill. Can you help?
This is ridiculous. After everything you people put me through, you want me to come back?
Don't blame me. I had nothing to do with anything that might have happened. I'm just merely carrying out a murder investigation. I just need your help. Doctor, if there's something that's happened and I can smooth it over after this happens, I'll do whatever I can for you. What more can I say? My word is my bond.
This from outside.
I don't think you've got... you're definitely too far away because you're in the car, right? Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure. I thought we walked.
No, we
had a car.
We definitely took a car.
We came in a car,
right.
and
okay.
we went inside out.
Doctor, time is very important. Any chance you could bring a medical bag with you and we could head off to my car?
He goes over and he picks up his doctor's bag, but he also picks up another briefcase as well.
That's fine.
And he follows you out. He's basically
this isn't going to take... honestly, Doctor, this is not going to take much of your time. It's 15 minutes from here, maybe 20, and I'll get you there and back as quickly as possible, I promise.
He says something like obviously like complaining in Hungarian to his assistant.
I try and go through the... Is there anything I need to decipher? Sorry, Doctor, can that help?
Basically, it's like the cheek of this. Like he's so outraged that someone has come and got him.
Perfect. That's fine with me. Obviously, we get him into the back, open the back door, and let him in. Obviously, sitting next to him is Albion. I'll sit in I'll drive and leave Leo to sit in the other seat. Seems to make sense, I think, because they're both more skilled at this kind of stuff than me. And I'll drive us out of Budapest. I know a little bit about Budapest. I kind of know the way out, back roads, that kind of thing. I'm going to pick a spot that I've used before, maybe near a farm that's sort of derelict, run down, whatever. Yeah, right out, maybe 10 miles out of Budapest. That's it. Like I say, maybe 20 minutes out max. And then
he looks like very annoyed the whole journey.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm trying to pass away. I know, Doctor. I know it's frustrating. Please, and I'm still driving. I know it's horrendous. These colleagues of mine. We'll explain more when we get there, and I'm just waiting for them to take over.
You can hear like the tapping of his foot as you're driving, like he's really annoyed.
Yeah, if he's muttering and bitching in Hungarian, I'll be able to understand him.
Yeah, he's basically saying, first I don't accept the bribe and they force me out. Now I'm back, they want me. Like, this is fucking ridiculous. I'm not going to accept another bribe. I'll do this and I'm out.
I'm trying to think of something threatening to say to him, but... Yeah, no, carry on. I'll think of something.
I'm just trying to keep him pacified as far out as I can and let them do what they do best.
Is this another one that you want me to mark off as heart failure?
I don't comment.
Is he saying that in Hungarian or English?
English.
Damn.
Yeah, well, that's thank you. I give it a sort of a little. I'm driving and I kind of, looking in the mirror. I sort of say, "Good doctor, yeah, you're thinking. That's good thinking. Well done, very good."
I've already told you I'm not doing it anymore.
This is the last one, Doctor. Trust me.
I'll menace him. Say it in Hungarian. You'll do as you're told.
Oh, I do as I'm told, and my lawyer will release those papers. Don't you worry. Yeah, you're sort of driving him through.
Nonplussed silence and a shrug.
It's over to you, boys. Whenever you're ready, take over. I'll just keep driving to a certain... I know I can only go a certain way out because he's going to start getting suspicious, so I've got to time it. It's about 20 minutes out. As soon as we reach that kind of point, I look for the building I'm hoping to find or close by. The rest of the team should be right out there. And I start driving kind of through the tracks towards whatever this dilapidated...
So you're taking him basically to like an abandoned warehouse or something?
Yeah, a farm of some kind. One of those where the roofs come in and it's just the outer walls. And,
yeah, so you drive out of Budapest and sort of into the countryside. He's like, what? You do realise that he will release the thing. Like, if this is a setup like I think it is,
right.
You're all fucked. I want you to know that. You're all fucked. I wrote it all down.
Right. Why don't we go through what you wrote down then?
Well, obviously, I wrote down every single one of those coroner's reports again. I wrote them out, and I give the proper cause of death, and I actually put in the information. And I have kept a paper trail of every single one of those bribes you tried to give me. And it's all with my lawyer.
Now we're getting somewhere. And I lean into him closer as I say, right, now we're getting somewhere. And I say, what was the actual cause of death?
Well, I mean, what do you mean, what was the actual...
Have you got another copy?
You say you changed the cause of death.
Well, yeah, so obviously the men missing hearts didn't die of heart failure. They obviously died of having their chest burst open. What is this?
You don't think this is Interpol, do you, Doctor? I say, putting on a different badge. Hood up.
Come on, Doctor. You've got a medical degree. You're smarter than this.
We're interested in what you have to say, Doctor. We're not interested in anything else. We're interested in what you have to say. Forget the others. We can help get you out of here.
So who are you?
Can I reach in and do the cliche lock all the car doors thing?
Yeah, so what we see is like all the car doors lock and he looks like even more sort of on edge. And he's like, you really aren't the police.
No.
No, we're not.
I have a bit of a bad relationship with them. They're a bit funny about shooting people in public.
We've got as much to lose as you have, Doctor. Trust me. If you were to do a very basic search, you're going to realise we're in a bit of trouble ourselves. We probably want the same thing. We can help each other here.
Are you with the club? Because you can't find my lawyer. You won't be able to find him. I'm not taking another bribe from you.
Well, we're not interested.
Fairly sure we don't care about your lawyer. Maybe some of the documents he's got could be of use, but pretty sure we don't give a shit about him.
Doctor, all we want is the original record.
We're more interested in the original paperwork. And this guy, that fucking glowing guy that attacked us on a train. And everybody says Dominic Harper all the time and dies. And this eyeball with this funny symbol.
Don't say. Jesus Christ! You really aren't with the police.
It would appear not.
Let's start this again. I look at him in the eye and I say, "We're not going to hurt you.
Maybe
we're not here to do anything to you."
As you say that, I look around at the abandoned.
We're here for information.
Like, yeah, we're not going to hurt you.
We're here for information.
Yeah.
We need answers.
That's a bit worrying.
That's why we're here, and you can help us get those answers.
How much do you know? Because what I'm about to say is going to sound.
I think my friend.
Fucking crazy.
We know bits, but the trouble is what we.
Well, I think my friend here has summed it up nicely.
Don't worry, Doctor. Be as honest as you want to. We want to hear what you have to say. At the end of the day, this is going to help us all. We're not here.
No, that thing that attacked us was fucking creepy. It wasn't. So
you've seen one, and you're alive?
Yeah.
I don't know what one is to say yes to that.
You see the bruising?
It fucking hurt.
You see the bruising on my friend's face?
He looks over at you and he's like,
"The one of those things."
No, you didn't see one. You saw some puppet, and he's like really he's basically like examining you. Like he's not even like looking at you as a person anymore. He's examining you as like almost like a scientific object.
He's puppet,
like,
okay.
It ripped its fucking hand off. That was gross.
That wasn't one of them.
Cracking noises and pulled its hand out of.
Doctor, I shot it in the centre mass through the chest, and it was as if I was ripping a chicken, a brand new chicken off. There was no blood, there was nothing, just gold. It's the only way I can describe it. The eyes were golden, and occasionally, if you hit it in the right spot, it was like flecks of or splashes of gold. That's the only words I can describe it. It was crazy.
Did it see you? Like your actual face?
It's actually seen it. Of course,
pretty sure it did because I shot it point blank as it was trying to hit me. So yes.
Oh God, you guys are in some real shit.
Oh yeah,
he gets his briefcase.
Explain to me what we saw. Sorry,
he sort of like looks around the car and he's like, "Explain to you what you saw."
Yeah.
They're in Budapest. Do you know who they kept in that castle for years?
To be honest, Doctor, no, I don't. To be honest,
Vlad Tepes.
Sorry, who's Vlad Tepes? It doesn't ring any bells.
Dracula.
Doctor, please. I mean, have you been drinking this morning?
He like opens up his like briefcase and he goes to hand you like 5 fresh coroner's reports, no redaction.
I'll start reading through them.
He wasn't from Transylvania, but they're real. You're basically like reading through the coroner's reports. It's going over every single one of those attacks. Their hearts were ripped out, and their bodies were drained of blood through their heart. But the heart was nowhere to be found in any of the crime scenes.
It's folklore. That's a folklore, right?
Folklore. Do you know how much strength it takes to rip a man's heart from his chest through his ribcage?
To be honest, I start having flashbacks at this moment to the video I saw. I might have some idea, I say, actually, thinking about it.
If your friend fought one and got hit like that, he wouldn't have a fucking skull anymore.
Sure. So you're saying that was a baby one?
Okay.
Or a baby something?
No, I heard rumours that they were puppeteering or...
Okay, right.
Oh, did we take a bag of that mask stuff?
I believe Leo already gave it to his contact.
I used it for the dead drop.
Right,
we don't have it on us.
So
I'm going to say to him though,
I say to the doctor, well, this was smoking some new drug mask. It was this red crystal stuff. Being supplied with this stuff, and people are smoking that instead. And he was smoking some. He made a phone call, and then that's when shit went weird. And
he gestures to give the reports back.
All the veins and the bulging, and then the fight.
He gestures to give the coroner's reports back real quick.
Sure.
And he sort of like flicks through, and he says, "Drug's a weird one. the toxicology reports are pretty clear. Apart from this guy, Irvin Mika, he had some heroin and some weed, but the rest of the guys were clean. I don't know about any drug, but whatever killed these men, and he's like pointing at the coroner's reports, that wasn't human. And whatever tried to pay me off wasn't human either.
Yeah,
They tried to scare me at first, but I'm clever. I've got lawyers all around the world.
Did you actually meet this Vlad?
Vlad, I think, was just a cover story, or maybe another one of their puppets. The person I met had no real name.
Was it a name that I mentioned a moment ago that you got very scared of?
No, Dominic Harper comes up occasionally. It's some underground contact, not one of them. I don't think.
Right. Okay.
But it could be.
The thing that attacked us spoke Russian. It sounded like it was a female voice, sort of through an intercom.
Ozanka?
I don't know.
That perks Leo's ears. Zanka? What's Zanka?
Folklore about some blood witch from centuries ago in Siberia. It comes up now and again when you investigate one of these crimes. Every time it's mysteriously missing from the reports, even though I've heard people say it. There's got to be something here, something you can do. She's everywhere. I've heard about echoes. Like if one of her minions or one of these puppets attacks you, you'll see her in your dreams. How are you alive?
I shot it.
I'm quite shocked at this point because of what he's just shown us and the video evidence that we've previously seen. I'm still trying to process this. I would use BS detector here on him, 2 points, because I'm still not buying this story. I appreciate it's not going to reveal anything other than the truth, but I would use it because I'm.
So, how many points of it are you spending? Just like
2.
1 or 2? 2. Okay.
2.
So what you're getting from this is he knows a certain amount, and he's kind of embellished a little bit further than that. But you're not.
Sure.
It's not like straight up a lie. It's more like he knows a certain amount, and he's almost like a conspiracy theorist trying to like piece together all the missing pieces of the puzzle. But you have a feeling that like he's kind of unreliable as a narrator because the things he actually knows and the things he's speculating on, he's basically combining.
Let's push that point. So I say to him, look, you seem like you've got a lot of knowledge of this, should we call it thing? Okay. Where do you think it lives? Here in Budapest?
No. Yes, maybe. I've seen. Well, seen is a strong word. They've shown me once.
What did they show you?
A video. It was a man, and the creature broke in through the window and tore his chest out, and then appeared to talk to the corpse.
I've seen
I think we've seen that one.
Something like that.
Jack Graff was the man. I wrote the coroner's report for him, and he leafs it out of his reports that he's got with him. Interesting fellow.
Yes, we've seen the video.
He was part of the British House of Lords.
We appreciate,
one of those pedos,
I appreciate the risk you feel you're under, same as us. Where do we go from here, Doctor? What do we do? Who do we go and see next?
Well, the people that tried to pay me off, they're the local mob, the Slovakian mafia. They're the ones who tried to pay me off. I think, if I remember the police reports right, they're in a gang war at the minute with these yellow jacks.
Yeah.
Yes. So, I mean, if you're looking for enemies of these creatures, then the yellow jacks might be up your alley. But I don't know how to kill them. Maybe if I had a proper lab and some time.
Hold on. So the yellow jackets are the vampire. Not vampire, but these creatures of the yellow jackets, or the Slovakian mafia of the yellow jackets?
No, the Slovakian mafia tried to pay me off to write these reports. I distinctly remember that, but the Yellow Jacks are definitely in a gang war with them. The Slovakian mafia are working with these creatures.
Right, okay.
They have some ties to a club that I've heard some things about, but nothing
Would
concrete.
this be Club Ambrose?
I've not heard it referred to as anything other than the club. Apparently, you need some kind of card to get in.
Yeah, that's right. You do. Doctor.
You mean like little playing cards?
I know very little about it. I've only read some police reports involving it, and they're all pretty much redacted after the fact.
Okay, that's fair enough.
I do have a question for you, Doctor. You said that you stopped taking coroner's reports for them. You said you were out.
I'm out.
So you said you weren't going to do it anymore. You kept saying that to us on the ride here. Don't deny it. You're not going to do it anymore.
I'm not working for
You've
that
done it for them in the past.
thing. Yeah, these 5.
I'm not trying to say that you are. I'm not trying to say that you are. I'm trying to work out who would they have gone to after you. They needed somebody else. Who would they have gone to? How did they approach you originally?
Whoever they could bully, I imagine.
I guess whoever got your job, Doctor, is the next man up.
Yeah, these deaths are months apart. There might have not been another one since then, but the current coroner could definitely be it. But I'm not even sure that these are even all of them. I only got to really do a handful of high-profile coroner's reports. Hence the House of Lords. There could be dozens of these things.
Right then, Doctor.
It's telling me that
Do you
the
reckon you
British,
could find out for us?
the British might be involved in this at a higher level.
I was told, fill in the coroner's report and say it's heart failure, and we'll send them a coroner's report. I don't know if the British government are involved, but the fact that a House of Lords member died and they didn't send their own team to investigate,
Pretty telling.
that would twig me.
Pretty telling, Doctor.
Doctor, could you find out more for us?
I'm not in the coroner
We ask
business
you to
anymore.
look into more.
No, you might not be in
all
the
I'm asking you
business,
to do
but
is
you
look
probably
into
got
records for
friends.
heart failure.
Records
You
for
could
heart
look
failure.
into. You've got a contact ring. You've got networks. You could investigate this further for us.
It's not going to be
We could
quick.
give you a means to contact us.
It's not going to
No,
be
but we
quick.
could give you a means to contact us.
I could help, but it's going to take weeks, maybe even months. You know how many people die of actual heart failure?
Maybe look for the
Well,
ones with the
we can
hole in
set
the
that
chest
in
and the
motion.
missing heart.
They'll be missing
We're
from the
looking for
report.
anything suspicious, Doctor.
I can look for
We're
where
looking
there
for
isn't
anything suspicious.
information, but it's
Right.
going to take time.
But
That's
you-
fine. As
bit
I say,
more
we
than-
can give you a means to contact us, and also I believe we may come across a situation where we need your services as well, and we would be very grateful if you could provide those when we need them.
If you bring me a body, I can help figure out what makes these things tick.
Yeah, we might
I
be
shall
bringing
do my best.
a
Right.
body, Doctor, or two.
Well, I'll keep my practice open. I've got a
Don't
room
worry.
that I'm not renting
Us providing
upstairs.
you with bodies is not going to be an issue.
He looks over at the smiling. He's Swedish.
No.
Where are you from?
Norwegian.
He looks over at the smiling Norwegian
Norwegian.
with like a look of concern on his face.
Remember, Doctor, anybody we bring you died of heart failure, right? I smile. We're okay. We're friends now, yeah? Let's not worry about it. We'll help where we can.
If you want to kill these fucking things, I'm on team you.
Right.
That sounds
How,
great.
how do you feel about bits
We are
of body? Would
investigating
they
this,
help?
and we need somebody with your contacts.
Well,
quite
any
sure how I
part of the
feel.
corpse I can run analysis on.
Not a problem. If they're as
not
tough as you
quite.
say they are, then there might be bits, not whole bodies.
I'm not quite sure how I feel at this moment in time because what he said is still quite hard to take. So I'm kind of like, let's get him back to his practice. But I think we've got to do this a little bit differently this time. We drive back to Budapest and we probably dump him off 5 minutes from his practice for us to walk back, just for his safety.
Yeah, you dump him off and then you see he
Yeah.
goes into a subway,
Yeah.
gets a sandwich and walks back like he was just on lunch.
Yeah. I mean, I think he'll understand why we've had to do that. And then
You're seeing that he's trying to be as discreet as possible. Like,
Yeah.
he knows that these things
I'm
could
glad-
be watching him.
I'm glad we made contact with him, and I'm glad we handled it that way. That worked quite well for us.
Mhm. We have him as a contact, I guess, in future. We can contact him if we need help.
Are you buying fully what he said about this thing? I mean, it does kind of match what we've seen. I know it sounds crazy, but it does.
Yeah.
I'm not very, very superstitious, but it seems that what he was saying might have some truth, even if he's embellishing it a little bit.
Yeah, but what we saw in that video didn't look doctored. I mean, I've seen doctored videos, and there's normally always a pause or a clever scenery setup, or that didn't look.
I have to take your word for it. I specialize in things that go bang.
No. That looked real, and I'm not easy to say that, but now that he's given us this information, we've seen the reports, we saw them. You kind of have to think that there is something far more serious going on behind this. I mean, I don't even want to think this way, but my mind is
if it wasn't
over ideas.
If it wasn't for what happened on the train, I think it's just a very nasty gang incident.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, but
you don't shoot people in the chest and they walk away from it.
Yeah, but we saw that
on the train. It took at least 2 in the chest, one in
you
the
saw
you
saw what I did, didn't you? You saw me shoot that thing in the centre mass.
Yeah, did you unload your revolver into it completely, didn't you?
Yeah, I took a couple of shots, but you also were firing at it, and you
saw it running off. Own hand off.
It left in a hurry, and
it ripped its own hand
when I blew
off.
its knee out, and the hand coming off was a bit strange. Oh, did we take the hand, by the way?
I imagine you took it because you seem to collect body parts, James.
Yeah. I think you probably did.
In that case, I would give it to El Doctor and say, "Here you go."
Yeah, I imagine you drop it off in the next day.
Doctor in a package.
You bring him a Subway, and it's just a hand in the bag.
High five, Doctor.
Yeah, when he sees me next day, I've got a lot less hair. I'll go I cut it to sort of this length. I'll get rid of it all, so it's like fuzz. Yeah.
So how is he meant to contact you? Has he got to post a Yelp review for Cafe Red or something, or?
Yeah, I think using a Yelp review is a great one. And then you can give a Dr. So-and-so's review of Hotel Red, and then can leave
the hotel can be the go-between.
He can leave a name, which we can use to try and find out what that name is and how to contact that name.
Guys can have an online profile with I am such and such posting Yelp reviews for hotel.
Yeah,
and maybe
I'm just thinking. My head's sort of spinning over. Like, if these things, if there's one, then there's more, right? You would think.
Yeah.
I mean, that's my instinct telling me. And if that's real, how old is it? How old is that thing? How many centuries does that thing go back?
Maybe if we cut it in half.
I mean, look at it this way. We're surplus to requirement. When you think about things like that, we're nothing compared to that. If you think about the ultimate kind of assassination sort of tool, that is it. I mean, how do you deal with something like that?
I guess we need to find out everything we can, don't we?
You use fire. Fire works for everything.
Yeah, but
fire.
Yeah, you're right. Strangely, I'm kind of agreeing with you. I think maybe a blunt instrument type of force is going to be required. You're right.
So,
would you like these things down with revolvers and handguns? That's for sure.
Maybe we take some garlic toothpaste as well and some holy water in a squirt gun. It might.
I'll certainly. I think we'll be seeing the Reverend return for our next foray into the darker side of Budapest, I think.
So, would you like to know all of the names in the coroner's reports?
I think we're going to have to, yeah.
Right.
We've got the 5. It's just the 5. I've got them.
Yeah, it's just the 5. Do you know all of their jobs, etc., and their nationalities?
Probably not.
Yeah, so we've got banker. We've got just a felon. We've got somebody who works for.
So in your fully unredacted report for Irvin Mika, who was the felon, he's got ties to the Yellow Jack gang.
Right. Now these Yellow Jacks, just because if it's a gang and it's been tagging for quite some time, it's probably basic stuff we can get hold of. What's the overview of the gang? Are they protecting churches? Is that the kind of feel it gives?
So they just seem to be tagging their territory. What you can find out is they were originally almost like a nomadic biker gang that a few years ago moved into Budapest and just started to try and take over the criminal underworld of Budapest, and then they got in a massive gang war with the Slovakian
Are they
mafia.
very religious-based gang? Like super religious?
They have like obvious symbology, like that's almost religious. But it's not like they're not like good old Christian boys that go to church.
Not with the cross on the shoulder kind of thing. It's but they have a religion. There's an undertone to the game.
Yeah, it's weird. It's definitely not. They're definitely not Christian.
Right.
But they have like a thing called Yellow Mass that they go to. Like you hear rumors of that. And you hear various rumors about like sermons and stuff.
Are they? Would you say, from again cursory, not deep dive, but from a cursory kind of overview, is there a sort of gypsy that kind of bloodline here? We're talking as well within it.
It's weird. It doesn't seem to like originate from any specific group. It seems like it was like originally just this gang that happened, like was a biker gang in sort of the Hungarian
and so
countryside.
It's grown a network tie outwards from the
yeah. So for like literally like almost 50 years, it was just a biker gang, and then very recently it's set up in the city.
Why the name Yellow Jacks? There must be some story around that.
You don't know for a fact why they're called Yellow Jacks, and it's weird because the name is in English, it's not in Hungarian. So it could have been derived from Yellow Jackets, because they wear sort of yellow biker jackets, but you don't know for a fact. Like, it could also be like the card suit or something else. It could be any of them.
The Serbian mafia I've had some dealings with.
Slovakian mafia.
Slovakian mafia. And I know they're a ruthless, very ruthless organisation, right? So anybody coming onto their turf, this would have been a hell of a gang. This would have been a big, there'd been a lot of incidents that would have happened, police reports, various things, put down to all sorts of potential reasons. But this has been ongoing.
Very weirdly, yes, you would know that, but during this gang war, it seems like the police reports are very thin on the ground. It's almost like any time there's a big scuffle between these gangs, it's covered up.
Smaller.
It's not that it's written off as smaller. It's almost like the gangs clean up after themselves.
So you're saying things like
that and the police don't want to bother with the paperwork. If they go into a big gunfight, there's lots of bodies. They have to do lots of documents and
weirdly enough, not a lot of bodies have ever turned up.
So what you're saying is that if there was, say, like a gun battle, say 2 cars pulled up alongside, there was a big gunfight going off, even no matter what happens in that, no matter who gets shot, who gets killed or whatever, it would be written up as a road traffic accident, or maybe just a small violation of speeding fine.
It's almost like if that happened, what would happen is literally like 10-15 minutes later, whoever's gang lost that fight would scrub the area. Would take all the bodies and the car and tow it away.
So both sides have got
before the police even turned up. So the police basically don't know what's going on.
Yeah, the police have been bought off by both sides, and they're able to continue their business unmolested, effectively. And it's just a question of whoever wins out that's fine. So the police are playing both sides in a way, because they don't care who wins as long as one side wins.
Scrolling through social media, there's also very little reference to gang violence. So whatever you think is happening is this almost like a shadow war. Like, they're not going to go out in the streets and shoot at each other.
You did say that the Yellow Jacks have been tagging primarily, was it churches? Is that to mark the area of their control?
Yeah, it's kind of to show like this is us.
And the tags on the churches, are they at the furthest away point of the church, so that the church is within the grounds of their area, or on the outside of it?
It's weirdly not specifically placed. It's over statues, so it'll be like over a saint's face, or like if there's like a mural of something, it'll be like over the mural.
Okay, right, interesting. Thoughts? Any further ideas?
We should probably go and look at the club. Ambrose, I think I've heard this a couple of times now.
Is that in Budapest?
Yeah, I think so.
No, we're not all going to get in.
So
I was going to
Club
say,
Ambrose.
What I was going to suggest was. Sorry, carry on.
Sorry. So Club Ambrose. You keep hearing the name, but if you Google it, you won't find anything.
Sure.
If you ask around about it, you don't really
Yeah.
hear anything from regular people. Like club goers don't know
Nobody
what
knows
it is.
what
Like,
that is. Yeah. Yeah.
I was going to ask, can I use some skill that I've got to try and go a bit around in the more seedier parts of the city?
yeah,
I have urban survival, which
Yeah.
is all about surviving on the streets. So can I try and get some context from the more shady areas and some information from
what
not
specifically
the
do you
places
want to
that no one
find
really
out?
ventures into normally?
What specifically do you want to find
So
out?
I'm
Because
sort
it
of, I
might
would say,
be a point spend if it's certain information.
I'm finding out about the. I'm basically just finding out anything that we can find out about the gang war, how long it's been going on, who seems to be doing better, like where do the like any encounters that do happen, who instigates them, that sort of thing.
So what you're finding out is mostly you don't have to do a point spend for this. So what you're finding out is basically about 5 years ago the Yellow Jacks started moving in. They rapidly started taking over territory. And it was mostly stuff like if a mobster was in a cafe, like 2 people in yellow jackets would walk in, stab him to death, and leave. It's not like they're going and shooting up places. It's like very surgical strikes. Like someone will be like waiting in a theater, and then the entire back row will just like go and stab him and all of his like family and entourage.
It's always a stabbing. Is that how it always goes down?
It's not always a stabbing. Sometimes it's a shooting, but more often than not, it's a stabbing because it draws less attention.
Sure.
The stab wounds are very regular to kitchen knives. It's not like it's some crazy sword that's being used. It's just stab wounds. And every single time that's happened, like there'll be a few blips on social media or a few people will hear about it, and the cops will arrive like 2 hours later and there'll be no body. And they'll just leave and say, we don't know.
Cops are a bit lax round here, aren't they?
Yeah, it's Budapest.
So the Yellow Jackets are clearing away the crime scene. So they're doing the crime and then they're cleaning the scene as well.
No, whoever's got attacked in this gang war, their gang will then come and clean up the bodies because they don't want their members.
Right. So the losing gang. Okay.
It wouldn't be too difficult with our skill sets if we choose to do so. We could easily set something up where one or the other group will come to a certain point, and then that allows us to, when something doesn't happen, for us to follow said members, or at least 1 or 2 members back to wherever the Yellow Jackets operate from. Because I think finding out about these groups is going to be important, but very risky. We need to figure out.
Can I go back to
what's going on with the groups? Go ahead.
Can I go back to the streets and sort of asking around and just ask about if there's any intelligence on something about to happen? Any targets that have been identified that people know about, or
so the
homeless people, just
So if you want to do a
I'm asking them for the
point
information.
spend, if you spend 1 point, I can give you some information.
Yeah, 1 point in urban survival, I can do that.
Nothing has happened nothing's happened that recently. Although 2 weeks ago there was a massive commotion over the old Budapest gasworks on the Buda side of the river. I think it's called the O Buda Gasworks. And this was like abandoned for years and is like locked up. But there was some like big commotion over there, and like a bunch of specifically Slovakian mafia cars just like drove there like one night. Stayed for a bit and then drove out, and it was almost like every like Thursday for a week they were going out there, like last month. But since then, like they've not been there as regularly, if at all.
Okay.
Sounds like something to investigate.
What was that? Sorry, Jordan.
They stayed for one night.
No. So it was like every Thursday for a month. And then not again.
They would turn up, stay, and then go again.
Yeah. They'd go there at like 8 and then stay till like 2 and then go home.
Cool. And then they're obviously not going there as frequently.
Correct. Over the past month, a lot of dealers have stopped selling methamphetamines and have started just selling mask exclusively. Or they'll sell like marijuana and mask and... But it's basically Mask has entirely defeated meth in the districts that aren't tagged by Yellow Jackets.
So the districts that are tagged are still selling other stuff.
Yeah, so in Yellow Jacket territory, you can get like regular men.
I think the Yellow Jackets are clearly then the people we need to talk to.
They seem to be defending rather than.
Yeah, they seem to be the ones that
wrong
are
way
fighting
around
for
in my head.
It's the classic phrase of, the lesser of two evils, I think, is what we're looking at here. So the Yellow Jackets look like the kind of people who might be able to give us some intel that we really need. And they certainly have a better heads up on what the hell's going on in Budapest than we do. The question is, can we make contact with them? And is it going to be worth their while sharing that information with us? We're going to have to really sweeten the deal if we're going to get anything from them. I think we need to find out some real information
if we're going to go with anything.
Sorry, you go first. I've got an idea, and then I'll run it by you both and see if it floats your boat.
Okay.
I
was going to say, if you wanted some information about the Yellow Jackets to give to the Yellow Jackets that would be fruitful, I say let's check how the gas works. The mafia, the Slovakian mafia, have obviously been going there.
Yeah, well, the other thing we could do,
maybe that purpose is fulfilled.
That's a valid point. And what we could also do, which would really sweeten the deal, that would be worth doing. But if we could give them like where a certain, not necessarily the top guy is going to be, because that's going to be difficult, but somebody like a really decent henchman of the Serbian mafia is going to be at a certain time, and give them that information as kind of a sweetener to say, look,
we could just take them now.
Well, you know what I mean. I mean, if our information is legit and good and everything else, they might be open to talk to us about other things.
Yeah, I think
we've got to win them over
before we make contact with them. Yeah, before we make contact with them, I think we need to check out what's at this gas works, because for all we know, that could be if they've been going there and they've been now stopped going there, their purpose there is fulfilled. So there might be something there that is important to them.
Maybe they've just started their.
We won't know until we go.
Could have been that it was a setup, is what they were doing.
So as you're having this conversation,
we won't know that until we find out.
As you're having this conversation, Leo, your phone starts ringing. And are you going to pick it up, or are you?
I'll just see who it is first.
Unrecognized number.
Caller ID.
This is a burner phone that you had on you that isn't the original one.
Yeah.
You pick it up, and it's just a street address, and it says wear something red, and then hang up. You have a feeling it's from your contact you tried to contact earlier.
Right. My errand from earlier appears to have played out. My errands from earlier has paid off. I need to go. I'll be back.
Do you need any
Please
backup?
Continue discussing the plan.
Yeah. Do you need any backup?
I don't think it's going to be. I think I'll be fine. I don't think it's going to be. It's going to cause more problems.
I think it would probably be better if one of us wasn't too far away, because it's been a bit strange recently.
Don't tell.
In your note, you mentioned that you were working with 2 other operatives, so he is expecting you to bring people.
Okay, so he would be familiar with them, right? Okay.
He's not necessarily familiar with these 2, but he knows.
I just want to remind you.
Let's go on a nice little jolly then, and go and see what this contact wants.
I just want to remind you, Leo, the last person I spent any time with wearing red was quickly dead.
Shot in the head.
So,
indeed.
You stay back.
A nice rhyme.
Again, I'm going to go and meet this contact. I know where to go, and I know how to meet them.
Sure.
You guys just stay back. Just give me, don't interfere.
We won't
be appreciate it if you just trusted me on this.
We'll keep right back. It's your.
You might be able to give us some more information about.
Yeah, it's your show. We'll do what you tell us. Yeah, it's your show. We'll do what you tell us to do. We'll wait when you tell us to wait.
So I guess what we see as sort of the ending shot of the episode is Leo sat down. What red item did you choose in the end?
It would probably be like a t-shirt,
Scarf?
but like it looks like it's black, but it's got a red stripe down the side of it, and it's the kind of thing that can be removed. You would look at it; it looks like a whole t-shirt, but that's something that can be removed.
Oh, okay, right. So you're sat like eating a kebab, and we just see like a shot of someone's like a really well dressed pair of shoes, like walking up and then sitting in the chair next to you. As you sort of turn to look up, we see your eyes, and then the camera finishes on that. We get the credits of our Knights Black Agents episode. So next week, I'm pleased to announce that we've got a guest coming. Leon, which you might know from the pod of many things that I recently starred on. So he will be joining us next week playing... what character is he playing, Jordan?
He is playing, quite ironically, really, he's playing an arms dealer / drug kingpin.
Nice.
The
Excellent.
exact character he wanted to play when we were on the pod of many things. So,
how Beyond can get some more guns.
so next week we'll deal with...
He supplies arms to...
Left or right?
Well,
I think
you know what?
ambidextrous.
Strangely, we supply arms as well. Well, hands anyway.
So that will be next week. So we will do everyone's outro just before we finish. Everyone, you get 3 XP because we finished the initial operation, which was finding out about the vampire menace, the scourge of Europe.
Right.
So take 3 XP. Let's do sign off. Anything you want to promote, please, Jordan? Say goodbye to the people and promote anything that you want to promote.
So yeah, thank you for watching and tuning in, I guess. Unlike the other two, I am actually okay with being found on the internet, and you can find me on Twitter, which I believe Ben's got my Twitter handle on the screen, which is Masterkind, just with an X between the 2 words.
Yeah, it's right there
cool.
underneath Leo McEnroy for you. Right there, the Twitch overlay works
Thank you
this
very
week.
much.
And I think everything's
Thank
worked
you
this
very
week,
much,
hopefully.
That's good.
You
If
can
I
find
switch,
me on Twitter on that handle.
if I switch my camera off and back on again, you might find me under Leo as well.
Thanks, Discord, for being so well designed that you move the cameras every
Yes.
time.
We've definitely had no problems with this Discord video chat.
Been brilliant.
James, please say goodbye to the people and plug anything you want to plug, preferably the loom. Would help me out.
Sorry, my camera froze then for a second.
Oh, I thought you were just creepily smiling.
No. Hotel Wi-Fi is amazing, people. What did you say?
Please plug anything that you want to plug at this juncture and say goodbye.
Yeah. I hide on the internet, but you can find me on the Loom Discord server.
Excellent news. And finally, Sean, please plug your ancient YouTube channel, because it's got some great videos on, and people
You
should
can always
watch them.
find us on Outside of 68. You can always send us a message on there, and I'll always pick up on your messages. But if you do want to find us, we are also on the Discord site, The Loom. We're easily to find. We're running games on there as well, as are some of these other people, fine gentlemen, running games. I'm going to plug the pod of many things. If you haven't listened to the show, please subscribe as well as this one. Let's get some cross-subscribing going. It'd be really good to see that.
We'll have a big old YouTube community like back in the old days.
Back in the old days, as it used to be. We
Back
were
in
all
the
working.
days.
Let's make it happen, guys.
It used to be a lovely place.
It used to be, yeah. Oh,
It
God.
still can be.
Oh, the internet.
We just need to make it happen.
You've seen the YouTube comment section, right? Pornhub has more wholesome comments.
Yeah, it's true. It used to be, the principle of it used to
And
be
that
built
was-
on. This is really for your viewers. It used to be built on the principle that everybody helped each other, and that was what it originally was. Every new channel that grew up, we would get behind and support and subscribe. That's how it used to work. I'm afraid that those days have long gone, I'm afraid, because people got too commercial, the usual story, and that's why it's so great to have channels like this, and like the Pod of Many Things, looking to grow again and build communities around them. So please get behind them and support them, please.
Speaking of commercial, today's spot. No, I'm joking.
I'd like to promote
Halfway through, like
get
get shot, and then there's a product placement.
It's the comment coming in from the side that's the funniest of all time. I will say, because it's actually hilarious. Somebody thought you said lube and plug it. Greatest line I've ever heard.
God.
That is the best. Oh,
Well,
dear.
everyone, if you want to
No,
find
no,
more
no.
from me, please check out The Flickering Torch over on YouTube, unless you're already here on YouTube. And then check us out on Twitch at 7:30 GMT, also The Flickering Torch, to watch this excellent show. Over there as well. So from me and all of the cast, good evening. Have a good one.
Thanks very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, guys. Have a good week.
Thanks, everybody.